Hello everyone, welcome to online classes. I am VGS Kumar, your maths teacher. Today, in this video, we will discuss exercise 3.3 of chapter 3. By the end of the video, you will come to know the application of properties of quadrilaterals in different situations. Now, let us start question number 3. We already discussed that question number 5 and 6, but today we will discuss question number 3. After question number 5, you can write this. Okay, put the question number correctly, that's all. All the questions should be there. If you are writing in any order, that's not a problem. Now, the question is, can a quadrilateral ABCD be a parallelogram if angle D plus angle B equal to 180? That is, first condition given is angle D plus angle B equal to 180. Then we have to say whether it can be a parallelogram. So here, first we have to draw a quadrilateral, a parallelogram ABC, and when you put the name, give it in a order. That is, after A, B, then C, D. Every time, listen, if the name is given, then give that name in the order A, B, C. Now, according to the given condition of the question, angle D plus angle B, that is, sum of these two angles is given 180. And sum of these two angles can be 180 in different cases. That is, some examples I have shown here. That is 120 plus 60. If angle D is 120, angle B is 60, then sum is 180. Or angle D 100 degree and angle B 80 degree, then also 180. Another case, both the angles are equal. That is 90 plus 90, 180. Like that, so many cases you will get. But this case, that is angle D equal to angle B, is only when the measurement is 90. And by the property of parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. We discussed in the last video, that is opposite angles of a parallelogram are equal. So this condition satisfies only when angle D and angle B is 90. Then also sum is 180, but both the angles are equal only on this case. So it can be a parallelogram when angle D and angle B are 90 degree. In other cases, it cannot be a parallelogram. So the answer is like this. This is a parallelogram only when angle D equal to angle B, that is equal to 90 degree, because according to the properties of the parallelogram, opposite angles, that is these two angles should be equal, and these two angles, that is angle A and angle C, should be equal. But here angle D equal to angle B only when it is 90 degree. So according to the given condition, it can be a parallelogram or it cannot be a parallelogram. That is the answer. Now we can discuss second part of the question, that is AB equal to DC, that is equal to 8 cm, and AD equal to 4 cm, BC equal to 4.4 cm. These are the given measurement, that is length of the sides are given. And here AB means this side. Here it is given AB equal to DC. These two sides are equal. Now AD is 4 cm and BC, this side is 4 cm and this side is given 4.4. But for a parallelogram, opposite side should be equal. So it cannot be a parallelogram because AD here is given 4 cm and BC is given 4.4. Since AD not equal to BC, it cannot be a parallelogram. So we can write the answer here. AD not equal to BC, so it is not a parallelogram. It is not a parallelogram because in a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. In a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. In a parallelogram opposite sides are equal. That is the reason of this question. Here these two sides are given equal, but these two sides are not equal. Therefore, it is not a parallelogram. Now the third question, third part. Angle say A equal to 70 degree, angle C equal to 65 degree. Here you can see angle A and angle C are opposite angles of the given figure. So, in a parallelogram, by the properties of the parallelogram, opposite angles should be equal. But here, this angle is 70 degree and this one is 65 degree. So, opposite angles are not equal, therefore it is not a parallelogram. That is the answer to the third question. Opposite angles are not equal, therefore it is not a parallelogram. Because in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal, opposite sides are equal. Next we will discuss question number 4. That is, draw a rough figure of a quadrilateral that is not a parallelogram but has exactly two opposite angles are equal in measure. We have to draw a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means four-sided polygon. Here I have drawn a four-sided figure, and this is actually kite. The name of this quadrilateral is kite. The speciality of the quadrilateral kite is adjacent sides are equal, not opposite sides, adjacent, nearby sides. Adjacent sides means nearby sides are equal. These two, AD and AB are equal, and BC and DC are equal. Therefore, it is not a parallelogram. Parallelogram means opposite sides are equal. Here, these two sides are the opposite sides that are not equal. Adjacent sides are equal. And other property of a kite is the angle between not equal sides. Here, when you are taking these two sides, they are not equal. Angle between these not equal sides, that is this angle, and these two angles, this angle are equal. Angle between not equal sides are equal. That is, when we draw the kite like this, this is the angle between not equal sides. Because when you are taking these two sides, they are not equal, and when you take these two sides, they are not equal, but angle between them are equal. Therefore, our condition is satisfied. We have drawn a quadrilateral. Quadrilateral means four-sided figure, and that is not a parallelogram. Here it is not a parallelogram because opposite sides are not equal. But exactly two opposite angles are equal. Here angle D and angle B are equal. Actually it is a kite. Okay, this is a kite with a pair of adjacent sides are equal. When you draw a kite, these conditions will be satisfied. So, draw a kite. Here, kite ABCD. We can write here kite ABCD satisfies the given conditions. ABCD satisfies the draw a rough figure of quadrilateral. Quadrilateral is drawn. Quadrilateral means four-sided polygon. Now, this is also satisfied. One pair, two opposite angles are equal. Angle B equal to angle B. When you draw the kite, all the conditions will be satisfied. Now we will discuss question number 7. The adjacent figure HOPE is a parallelogram. Find the angle measures X, Y and Z. So here we have to find these angles X, Y and Z. These are the three angles you have to find. So we will apply some properties of parallelogram. You know, in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal, opposite sides are parallel, adjacent angles are supplementary. That is, sum of two adjacent angles will be 180 degree, and sum of four angles in a quadrilateral is 360. Sum of all the four angles in a parallelogram is 360 degree. But here we are applying some of the properties. Now we will discuss exercise 3.3, question number 7. That is, adjacent figure HOPE is a parallelogram. We have to find the angle measures X, Y and Z. Also state the property used to find them. So here we have to find these three angles X, Y and Z. Now you look at the figure. Here when we consider these angles, that is HOP plus PO, here we can give the name POD, or angle HOP plus 70 degree, that is equal to 180, because they are linear pair. Linear pair means this type of angle, two angles formed on a straight line. Therefore the sum will be 180 degree. Sum of these angles will be 180 degree. I think all of you remember we were studied in 7th class. So this sum, that is HOP, angle HOP means this angle HOP, angle HOP plus angle POD, that will be 180, or we can write angle HOP plus 70 degree equal to 180. From this course we can write angle HOP plus 70 degree, that is equal to 180, because linear pair. Linear pair means sum will be 180 degree, angles formed on a straight line. Now next we can write angle HOP equal to angle HEP. Angle HOP, that is this angle. Angle HOP means this angle. HEP means this angle. So these two angles are equal because it is given, it is a parallelogram. And parallelogram, opposite angles are equal. Therefore I have written here angle HOP equal to angle HEP. Reason is opposite angles. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal. If you want, you can write in the school parallelogram. Opposite angles in a parallelogram are equal. Before that we have to find the value of HOP from here. That is angle HOP. You can find 180 minus 70. 180 minus 70. This 70 we are taking this side. Therefore, angle HOP equal to 110. Angle HOP, that is this angle you got 110. Now we got this angle as 110. Now we can write angle HOP equal to angle HEP, because opposite angles in a parallelogram, opposite angles are equal in a parallelogram. Parallelogram we can draw like this also. Draw a small parallelogram and write M here. Then it will read as parallelogram. Opposite angles are equal in a parallelogram. So we wrote angle HOP equal to angle HEP. Now HOP is 110. Now HOP is 110. HOP equal to 100. So angle HEP, that is also 110, not 100. 110. HEP is also 110 degree. That is, we got X equal to angle HEP. Angle HEP is actually X. So we can write X equal to 110. X equal to 110. So we got the first value, that is X. X equal to 110. Now you consider these two lines, that is EH and then PO. EH and then PO. Here we can write X equal to 110. Now consider the lines HE. Here SP and EH. Here EH and PO are parallels, and PO are parallel lines cut by the transversal PH. Cut by the transversal PH. By the transversal PH. That is this transversal, this term you are remembering, maybe that is you studied in class 7. That is when two parallel lines are cut by a transversal. Suppose the two lines are like this. These are parallel lines and cut by a transversal. That is when one line is cutting the two lines. That is called a transversal. Here two parallel lines are there. Another line is cutting the two lines. That is called a transversal. And the this property. The lines are parallel, alternate interior angles are equal. So we can apply this property here. Here EH and PO are parallel lines cut by the transversal PH. So angle y equal to 40. That is alternate interior angles are equal. Alternate interior angles are equal. Alternate interior angles are equal. Therefore, y equal to 40. Now consider the triangle. Now you consider this triangle HPO. Consider the triangle, this triangle HPO. By angle sum property, we can write z plus y plus 110 equal to 180. We can apply angle sum property on this triangle. So we can write from the figure. Y plus z plus 110, that is equal to 180. Here we are applying angle sum property. Angle sum property of a triangle. Angle sum property. Whatever property we are using, that you have to write here. Angle sum property. So y we already know 40. So we can write 40 plus, here already we got y equal to 40 plus z plus 110, that is equal to 180. Because we are applying angle sum property here, that is z plus y plus 110. These are the three angles of this triangle. That sum is 180 using angle sum property. And we got angle y as 40 degree. Y 40 we already got. So we are substituting that value here. Then 40 plus z plus 110, that is equal to 180. Therefore, this becomes 110 plus 40, that is equal to 150 plus z equal to 180. So from here, z equal to 180 minus 150, that is equal to 30 degree. That is the value of z. So we got all the values. That is x equal to 110, then y equal to 40, and z equal to 30. After getting all the values, you write once again all, because it is asked in the question. So write it last after finding all the values x, y, z. Write all the values. X equal to 110, y equal to 40, and z equal to 30. This is the answer of this question. I hope all of you understood this. Now we will discuss question number 8. That is the following figure. GUNS and RUNS are parallelogram. Find x and y. In that first question, do a homework. Second question we will discuss now. That is runs. RUNS. And when you mark the letters, you write in this order. RUNS. Now we have to find x and y. Here the properties of the parallelogram are using here. In a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. That is first diagonal. If you are considering this as first diagonal divides the second parts. Bisect each other means divide into two equal parts. So from here we can write OR equal to OA, because this diagonal divides the second diagonal, that is RN, into two equal parts. So here we can write OU equal to OS. That is, these two parts OU and OS will be equal. Therefore, OU equal to OS. That is y plus 7. OU is given as y plus 7. That's equal to 20. OS is 20. So from here we can write y equal to 20 minus 7. That is equal to 30. 20 minus 7, that is equal to 30. Now consider the next one. OR equal to ON and OR is 16. OR equal to 16, that is equal to x plus y. And y we got here as 30. Y we got as 30. So we can substitute that value here. 16 equal to x plus 30. So from here x equal to 16 minus 30. We can take 13 to this side. We want x only here, so we are taking 13 to this side. When we are taking one number, positive number to the next side of the equal sign, it becomes negative. Therefore, x equal to 16 minus 13, that is equal to 3. So we got the values of x and y. X equal to 3 and y equal to 30. These are the two values of x and y. X equal to 3 and y equal to 30. These are the two values. And the first one you do as homework. Simply you can find the answer using the same property. That is, in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. Bisect each other means divide into two equal parts.